Welcome back, Tribe. Have an interesting one here.
Go on that first date and the woman pays for you?
Yeah, it's fine for me.
We went on a date and I said I pay the bill.
Yeah, I'll be super happy. I'm like, yeah, I might see her again. This is working out. I've seen those American movies where the guy drives the girl home. That's not the common situation in Sweden. The winner in a Swedish family isn't necessarily the man. We don't have housewives as an institution. Since a woman in Sweden is expected to be an adult and self-sufficient, there's not the preconception of me as a man, I have to pay for people to be a man. No, people should be able to pay for themselves. And if they're not, then something is wrong.
Very progressive sounding, correct? You would think everybody would be on board. But what's interesting about the comment section, and it tells you what people really think. One of the most upvoted comments immediately is, do they get pregnant as well? Noted, never date a Swedish man. Failed society. Couple comments making fun of America saying we're clowns, we need to evolve. More posts from women. These are mostly women. They also share period pain and pregnancy with women. I'm never attracted to this type of man, no matter how handsome they are, ever. What color lip gloss do they use? Men are providers and protectors, not those girls. From Vikings to this, like going from a wolf to a chihuahua. Damn, look, we got the, look at this cuck looking dude. Look at him. Sausage, Greg, and cheese. Jesus Christ. Damn, these comments don't pass the vibe check. It's 2023, not 1995. Chill the F out. A guy being happy that his date is paying is not spouse material. Swedish men are in their absolute princess energy, I see. A whole bunch of ladies just crossed Sweden off their future travel destinations. Feminized men, unfortunately. They have lost their male instincts and behaviors. Laughing emojis everywhere to that comment. And it goes in hardcore people just talking a bunch of smack about each other's cultures, but then you'll get comments like this, they just jab people. That is why your women are marrying immigrant men, because they're seeking the masculinity in foreign men. Ouch. Look, another one. When I was in Sweden, the women complained about this constantly and said that going out isn't even fun because men don't even hit on women. Buy a drink, ask a girl out. They feel like guys. As a guy in my late 20s that recently moved to Denmark after living between Australia and South Africa, I noticed how the women here in Scandinavia are now looking for more traditionally masculine men because the men here are like the men in this video. With this attitude comes a very feminine energy most of the time. I've spoken to some women here and have been told many times that they are actively looking for more masculine men and often finding that masculinity in the immigrant population. Sad. Awoke Vicky says they have it right in Sweden. A woman, look, LOL, I'm sorry for Swedish women. Another one, and can these men even fight or go to war? Or they will send the women in first line. I don't blame them. Feminism really ruined both men and women. Gross, look at this. Born and raised in Sweden, but I tell you this much, when a guy can't be a gentleman on the first date and pay for the food, you will not get a second date, and the date will end right after dinner. It's funny to see Swedish couples go grocery shopping as they share the shopping cart and make two piles of groceries that they pay separately, each person for their own. Gross. That is a failed society indeed. Another woman, effed up. In Sweden, it's horrendous how some men behave. You see the shaming? Even when you give them the most progressive society, the most freedom, the most rights, the idealized version of culture. We have firsthand knowledge here, and I've heard it myself from actual people living in Sweden, people that are traveling around saying that they've been to the Nordic countries, and this is a common complaint about dating. We know about the tons of men, the Nordic bros, that are going overseas for women because their own are too masculine. We have heard and seen videos of Swedish women that think Swedish men or Nordic bros are becoming too feminized and are looking at the immigrant population that's coming in to find real men. This is an issue. This could explain many things like why many Swedish women don't want to get married and have children, why many Swedish women marry foreign men there, why Swedish birth rate is so low among natives there. Swedish men have gone from being Vikings that protect and provide to beta males. Soon they'll ask to carry babies in a fake womb. The polarity in Sweden between men and women is gone. The country used to be great. What a shame. And yes, I know a number of Swedish people and they agree with me. Some even left Sweden because they call it a disaster now. Sissy men and tomboys. Sweden is also suffering highly from depression. I was there last year and it's not a very sociable place. Men and women hate each other there. Nobody knows their role anymore. They probably like getting pegged too. And dined. Dined and pegged. That's why most Swedish women marry foreign men. Grow some balls, dudes. I understand the need for a woman to be self-sufficient, but as a man, confidently going on camera and being elated to not have to pay is just weird. That is feminine energy, and I don't like that in straight men. As a woman, hey everyone, if you have a minute, please head over to legionofmen.store and grab yourself some cool merch as well. We have a bunch of limited edition designs, brand new stuff on the way, and all the proceeds go to supporting the channel. We don't want to be sponsored by corporations where we have to submit videos for review, have our speech impeded, or push any products that we don't use. So thank you so much to everybody that goes into the shop. Again, it's legionofmen.store. I'll put it up here for you guys. First time customers get a 10% off, and we have a bunch of great designs by artists from the community that watch the channel and support. They get proceeds as well, a percentage of everything that gets sold. So community funded through and through. And it's no synthetic fibers on any on our products. We're using cotton only, of course. I got your back from all those chemicals from synthetic fibers. Again, appreciate you guys. Let's continue. Note to self from Anastasia here. Don't go to Sweden. Low test society. It will be overruled by illegal aliens. From Vikings to cucks. Another woman. Don't even try to explain masculinity to Swedish people. They just don't get it. What color of lipstick do you want me to buy you, honey? These are all women commenting this. Bring back Vikings. I'd rather just go Dutch. That's the most unattractive thing about men. Note to self. Don't date in Sweden. Glad I'm not Swedish. This is why Sweden is burning. These people were Vikings? And it's just non-stop just clowning on Swedish men and their progressive ideals. So this should give you some insight on how women really feel about this progressive ideology, the attitude of that men and women are equal. It's all a farce. On the superficial scale, they'll say it out loud just to appease the ideology that's permeating culture. But deep down inside, when you also add the anonymity of the internet, you get the reality of how they feel. Women want men to be men. They want traditional masculinity. They want men to protect and provide. No matter how much bullshit you hear from a very small minority of women talking about progressive rights, equality this, equality of outcome, equity, diversity and inclusion, all that shit goes out the window if you could just put anonymity on and they'll tell you how they really feel. You can't negotiate attraction. And it gets worse for the feminine bros because men who identify as feminists more than twice as likely to use erectile dysfunction medication. Study finds. Feminist men report higher rates of erectile dysfunction medication use than non-feminist men, according to a new research study. Well, we also know that if you inject a man with testosterone, he starts to become more conservative and more right-leaning in his beliefs. It's funny because all the decrepit, low-T beta males tend to be blue, tend to vote liberal. The researchers found that feminist men were more than twice as likely to report the use of ED medication than non-fems. Approximately 7.7% of men who didn't consider themselves to be a femme reported using ED medication, compared to 18% of men who did consider themselves to be femme. Approximately 10% of men who were unsure reported using ED meds. Femme men also reported significantly more difficulty getting or maintaining their erection compared to non-femme and unsure men. Look, man, no matter how hard society is trying to push this new agenda, this new way of living for men, a new standard of what masculinity means, what it means to be a man, you have to understand that rejecting this is in your best interest for your health, for your mental health especially, and apparently your physical health because it's manifesting in your sex life too. We have to go back to the basics. Eat eggs in the morning for breakfast, eat steak, eat ground beef, consume mostly water, give up alcohol, don't smoke if you can handle it, exercise regularly, get good sleeping habits, meal prep and eat at home as much as you can, avoid sugars, avoid processed carbs, avoid sweets, go out in nature, go on walks every day, do the basic things our forefathers used to do daily just to survive. Get your body moving, put some stress on this vessel you have because it's the only one you got. And I'm telling you, so many of these problems will go away. You'll start to feel better. You start to have clear thoughts. You'll magnetize people to you and have an overall more pleasant experience with this game we call life. Instead of all these degenerate outcomes and problems and needing pills and eating bug sandwich burgers and Beyond Meat and fast food and drinking to get drunk on the weekend with friends and all these other things that we engage in society as basically coping mechanisms for the disconnect we feel with what our natural inclinations are. Men should be men. Women should be women. Start cultivating a lifestyle that aligns that path for you, mentally, physically, spiritually, and you'll solve all the modern ailments we have today. And then, if you can, if you're lucky enough, find yourself a woman with a similar idea of gender norms as you, a traditional woman that understands her value, her real worth as a feminine woman, who hasn't been indoctrinated into woke ideologies, and who you could settle down with and have a nice life and build a legacy together. Don't fall for the hype, no matter how much they try to push this down our throats. It always seems to find its way back up and out of your mouth. I mean, we see it in the comment section. That wasn't a one-off. Multiple people, lots of women, tons of likes, immediately, right away, telling you on a deep level what they think about men with progressive ideals. And you're wondering why we have this divide in society today, where men don't want to approach women anymore, women don't feel safe around men anymore, dating is in shambles, marriage is in shambles, we're not having kids as much, imminent population collapse, and more dependency on the government than ever before. Moral of the story is everybody needs to go back to basics and we'll be much happier. Or we can continue down this path and see where it leads. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, especially what the women were writing in that reel. We'll see you on the next one.